Well, you wouldn't know it if you saw it, but this is indeed the Greater Mythos podcast, a very unorganized podcast where we talk about video games, comic books, movies, everything in between. I'm Josh, you're Josh. That's the quickest I've done it. And I think I did it all correctly.
Getting
unless if you heard something wrong.
No,
yeah,
I didn't hear anything wrong.
I'm not sure what I'm trying to prove, but maybe it's just because, I don't know, I feel like we're obligated to have an intro, but I also feel insecure in saying it. But I don't know.
Maybe
it's a conversation for another day.
You're getting fast enough that you can be an auctioneer one day.
Would you hire me to be an auctioneer?
I would. I don't have anything to sell, but
okay.
Nothing worth anything. So,
well, then it looks like we have nothing going for us.
Rest in peace. All right, so
yes, dive in.
You sent me a trailer to watch.
I did.
A couple of them, actually, but we'll start with the first one. So you sent me the trailer to the new Lord of the Rings Gollum game that is in production. And we had heard about this in the past. I think we even talked about it, maybe even on the podcast. But now we have some first looks, and gotta say, my first impression, it looks pretty bad.
Okay. Elaborate.
So
so also a little foreground. So this, it was like 32 seconds long, the trailer.
Yeah, it's not much.
I literally have only watched it once, and I watched it with the sound off because of other things happening. So if there was voiceover, I didn't hear any of it. So it looks like you're just Golluming about in Isengard or somewhere in the Mordor-ish regions catching fish. I don't know.
It's interesting. So because you had the sound off, you missed my biggest criticism.
Was it the voice?
Yeah, it's not Andy Serkis.
Okay.
And it doesn't even sound close. Like whoever did it just butchered Gollum's voice. And you can like read the comments in the YouTube video. Everyone's noticing it. So that needs to be fixed, because if it's not Andy Serkis, find someone who can do his voice, because that is integral to the character. That's like the character's biggest identifier. And it's also just grating too. Like every time he talked, I was cringing. Like I don't want to hear the voice anymore. Like someone
now
was
I have to listen to it.
Yeah, you do. That was my biggest criticism. The graphics look PS2 era, which isn't
good.
I mean, we're going back in time here. I thought the only company that could get away with that was Game Freak with their Pokemon games, but apparently,
it's spreading.
Yeah, apparently other developers are like, hey, Pokemon's the best-selling game franchise of all time. Why don't we just do what they do every 2 years?
Who's making this one? I missed that.
Dauntless or something? I think it's Dauntless, something like that.
Who are they? What do they do?
I have.
Oh, really? You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's just what it said in the YouTube video. Here, I can actually look it up, and let's see. Daedalic is producing them.
Daedalic?
I've heard of them. I don't think they've made any like massive hits.
Well, that's encouraging.
Well, you're going to do something with an IP as big as Lord of the Rings, and you're going to choose something that no one's ever heard of.
I'm wondering if I'm going to make that work, but that's fine. I'm back. Continue.
So, with a game like this, Lord of the Rings is your IP. There are a lot of characters out there that you could make a game based around. A lot of important, powerful, fan favorite characters, and you choose Gollum.
Yep.
So like
you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, so that's another common criticism I'm seeing. Now, not that a Gollum game can't be good. Like it's not taking away from everything, but stealth games in general have a tendency to be kind of tedious after like the first couple missions. Like I'm crouching, waiting for enemies to walk by, then I go. Like some people are really into that, but this isn't like like an Assassin's Creed game or something. Like it's Gollum. There's not a lot of substance there. And I feel like they're going to run into issues with that. Imagine if they had issues. Imagine if they had decided to make an entire game around Gandalf, right? Dude's been around for 4,000 years. He's a wizard. You could make a whole game around him that we haven't seen before, and it would probably be fun. I mean, just the character could be fun to play, to like use wizard spells and knock people around and stuff. That would be fun. I don't know about Gollum, but anyway, those are my initial thoughts from the very short trailer we've seen.
Yep. Well, that's exactly what I was going to pose to you, was that, and I know, we're probably never going to have an answer to this because the world doesn't work that way. But like what you just said, you have you you have vast knowledge of this wonderful fantasy world
Mhm.
full of characters, heroes, villains, and everyone in between. You have, to my knowledge, 3 different ages, first and second and third age. And you're going to make a media property out of it, specifically a video game for people to indulge and to enjoy. And it's just mind boggling to me, like what you just said, that
Mhm.
this is, maybe someone was like, I have a vision. Like, I have a vision and I know how I want to execute it. That's great. I have plenty of visions too, but I don't act on all of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess that was, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I guess they wanted to make a stealth game in the Lord of the Rings universe for whatever reason, and I guess Gollum's the only character you have besides like.
Be a nameless ranger out in the freaking woods killing orcs.
I mean,
or anything else. Sorry,
they're probably not going to do something like that because there's already 2 games where you're playing a nameless ranger, the Shadow of War and Mordor games. But
would you rather be a nameless ranger or Gollum?
it depends on what the game is about. Now
Okay.
it looks like the graphics are pretty cartoony. That's why, but it's still they still look pretty bad. Like the textures are pretty bad. So if they are going a cartoony style, then it doesn't have to be spectacular graphics or anything. It just needs to be fun. And I can see a Gollum game around that. But you're in like Mordor and there's lava and volcanoes and orcs everywhere.
It's all going to be like red and dark and sad, and I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's a little different. But I guess we'll see. It seems like it's still pretty early in development, so I don't know how long we'll have to wait for that.
Are you going to try it?
I always play everything that's Lord of the Rings related.
Okay.
I've played every Lord
I
of the
probably
Rings game
will
to
too.
date.
Here's a question that might be silly. Is this going to be full priced, you think?
Oh,
Or
I'm
do you think
sure.
this is going to be like a $40 kind of in between?
No, I think it'll be a $60 game. I think that the Tolkien IP is not going to let them release a game not full price.
Really milking it for all it's got, huh?
Yeah, now if they were releasing like a Gollum like mobile game or something, I can see that.
Mobile game. You'd love to be playing Gollum on the train station way or something, wouldn't you?
I that's probably the one time where I think I have actually played like the only true registered Lord of the Rings mobile game. But if it was on mobile, I wouldn't feel as inclined to play it. But at the same time, it's Gollum. A full $60 release for Gollum? I don't know if they can make that work.
Yeah, so going back a few seconds, and we don't need to beat Gollum to death, but so you mentioned you were bummed that Andy Serkis wasn't back. Number one, would it make any difference if he was back? Maybe a little, I guess.
Oh, it would for me.
Okay. Okay. Number two, would we be viewing this differently if it was just like a Switch exclusive due to like the graphics and the nature of the game? Would that make a difference to you? Since we're talking about the mobile game, and if it was marketed as a, I don't know, not necessarily a lower tier platform. I don't know.
So no, yes and no. I feel like if you say you're going to release a game for the Switch, you get more leniency on how the game looks, and even sometimes how it runs, unfortunately. But at the same time, the mainline Nintendo games for the Switch look really good. Like Odyssey and Mario Kart, and I mean they look good. Like they do for the system that they have. You know, and then other studios have made like Witcher's on the Switch too. I know it doesn't
Switcher.
look. I know it doesn't look as good as the main one, but I mean,
if you're expecting it to, you're a fool.
Right. But for a game like this with cartoony graphics, you can make it look amazing. You know.
Right.
So that I don't think that's an excuse for them. I do think that if they are releasing it on all the platforms, it's Gollum. So I don't know how you market that. They need to make the gameplay the focus of the marketing because the character isn't selling it for you. He's not a bad.
Do you think that they think it is? Do you think they are expecting Gollum to be the new hot property in the world?
I think that's what it looks like based on the trailer.
That's
the fact
bizarre,
that you're calling
man.
it Lord of the Rings Gollum alone, like that doesn't bring in people. Like even the people in the comments of the YouTube video were like, "Okay?" ? Dot.
Right.
Like, we're not complaining.
Who's this for?
Yeah. Right. So this is literally for like our cousin. You know who I'm talking about? Like this is his game. I feel like he could voice the character better than whoever they chose.
Okay. Wow, I got to go listen to that now, huh?
Yeah,
Really, really tearing apart the voice work over here.
listen to it and then have our cousin voice it over, do a voiceover for it, and
Oh
see how
my
much better
gosh,
even his voice would be. And I think
he'd be
that's
so proud.
exactly. Imagine he could get paid to be in this game. So anyway,
Anyway,
enough about Gollum. Anyway, so
enough about Gollum.
there was another trailer you sent me, and I watched it. It was
Yes, yeah,
Suicide Squad,
the Suicide Squad.
the Suicide
Did you
Squad.
say? Did you say the, or did you just say? Suicide
I
Squad?
just said Suicide Squad, but you know what?
It's the Suicide Squad.
All right, over here, Mr. Grammar. So,
your thoughts. Your thoughts.
so my first notable thought I saw was James Gunn. So he didn't direct the
Yes.
first one, right?
No, it was David Ayer.
Okay, yeah, because
who
I remember
did
he got
movies, End of Watch and other things.
Yeah, I know he got flack for the first one being bad, but so now James Gunn, which he's got a good track record of movies, so I'm excited about that. It's Suicide Squad. Interesting, they have John Cena in it. That's going to be interesting.
Okay, he's getting his own. So what is his name? What is his name? Dang it.
I don't know, but
I can't.
he's a very unique character. They called him like Toilet
Yeah.
Head or something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's getting supposedly, and I can't remember where this was source stat, but apparently he's getting his own like sideshow or whatever on HBO at some point.
That'd actually be interesting to watch. I think he's a very entertaining
character.
person. Like watches YouTube interviews and stuff. He seems like a very funny guy, just outside of his wrestling stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, I watch it. Seems interesting. Seems like the humor's more Marvel-esque and less forced, like the last one was. They got a lot of new characters, and there's not a lot of repeat characters from the last one.
They're all going to be dying, is why.
Yeah.
They're all going to be dead.
Harley Quinn, of course, is a carryover. Got to have her. Everyone loved her Harley Quinn from the last one.
Rick Flag is back in a big way.
So yeah, I'm excited. It should be an entertaining movie. James Gunn alone is gonna raises up the stock of the movie a lot. So we'll see that. So I have another question for you. I don't know if you've heard about this game.
I'm ready.
Valheim. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have heard of it. I'm aware.
Okay, so it's like a new survival crafting game, Viking thing. Everyone's been raving about it. It's like the new Among Us. Everyone's playing it now. So I haven't tried it. I was wondering if you have.
Do you think I've tried it?
Probably not.
Is it on console?
Yeah, I think so.
No need to get sassy. Goodness.
I mean,
number one, I thought it was only on PC. To answer your question, no, I have not. For no other reason that, again, number one, I thought it was only on PC, and also I've heard that it's a game that you would mainly want to be playing with friends. Those of which none of mine play Valheim.
No, I mean, it might only be PC. I don't know. It just seems like everyone's playing it. But if it is only PC, I'm sure it's because I also heard it's like beta or something, or early access. So maybe it is coming to console later. But it looks fun. I haven't been playing.
Oh, you haven't played either?
No, I haven't. I was just wondering. It's been pretty popular lately. But
yeah, it's been making the rounds. It looks cool. You know, it's kind of one of those. I don't think this is a fair comparison, but kind of like Fortnite-y graphics, kind of like just colorful and poppy. Yeah, I've heard other people talk about it, and they've been enjoying it and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to tell you what I. Okay, side note, and then I'll work up to what I was going to say. So, I bought Phoenix Rising. I think we talked about that last episode. I think. Been dipping in and out. But also I downloaded. Well, Capcom is having like a big sale, like in the Microsoft Store and all that. And so I was able to download the demo, which is obviously not a mind blowing thing, for Resident Evil 2 and 3, the remakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to dabble in those. Haven't gotten to it yet, but it's downloaded. But also, not to go off on a terribly big rabbit trail, but that's part of our charm. One of the other notes that I had here was that there's whispers and rumors that Call of Duty for this year is going back to World War II.
Again?
Now, hang on. I know. Again. So that's a whole thing in and of itself. We don't need to talk about it. But I say all that to say that as I was pondering this possibility, and it made me feel weird things, I re-downloaded Call of Duty World War II from 2017 last night. And I played a little bit. I played like 2 matches this morning. And the 2 matches that I played, disregarding the fact that it was in shipment 1944 or whatever, I was having a much better time than, I don't know, man, the several hours that I've put into Cold War. That might be shocking, it might not be. We don't need to talk about Call of Duty that long. I just thought that was interesting to share. I'll shut up. Something else more interesting.
I am eager to hear your reasons, like what the differences between the games, because
yeah,
I mean, it's literally still Call of Duty either way. They haven't changed much over the years. I know Cold War, the one thing I did notice, I liked the gunplay, but I heard some people didn't. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I think I might be repeating myself because I think we talked about this earlier when it first came out, but the differences, as you asked me with a small smirk on your face, this is my opinion. These are my opinions, and I'm fully aware that they could be wrong. My opinions could be wrong. Cold War, there's just something about it, man. It feels choppy. It feels like every time I'm running, it feels like the frame rate is about to collapse on itself.
Mm-hmm.
None of the maps are interesting. It feels cheaply made compared to like Modern Warfare. And again, I know that could be blasphemous to someone else. In comparison to World War II, it feels more polished and more streamlined in that way. And maybe those weren't the right terms to use or whatever, but those are just my thoughts. It feels more stable, I suppose. But yeah,
I don't know. I haven't. I mean, I've only ever played it on PC, and I haven't played Modern Warfare, and I didn't play World War II. And it feels good for me, but it might be a console-specific issue for Cold War.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
It very well could be.
PC games and how they run is completely based, for the most part, completely based on how good your PC is. Like games like Cyberpunk are the exception where they don't run well on any PC, but
how's that doing, by the way? Has anyone heard from Cyberpunk recently? Are they doing okay? Are they holding up?
I did write down the notes. I know they have like this roadmap of updates and stuff, and they've changed some things. And I've even seen some streamers come back to it. I haven't, mainly because...
I was going to say, do you care about that?
I'm not going to try it again until they say they're done, right? I'm going to say give them the time to make the game as polished as possible. Because, first of all, one thing as a PC gamer, and it's all gamers have to deal with this, I guess, but is hard space. How much space do you have on your hard drive? And can you? You're basically using that as another currency. Can I afford to keep this on my hard drive if I'm not going to be playing it? And
which Call of Duty do I have to uninstall to make room for Cyberpunk?
That's another thing. Like I don't have Cold War installed right now because I don't play it often enough to justify the 200 gigs it takes up on my hard drive, which is ridiculous.
Man.
I have a terabyte solid state, and so that's 1,000 gigs, and I have World of Warcraft installed, and that's huge. Some other games that are, when they port incorrectly, when studios port a game incorrectly to PC, it's not compressed, and so they're huge, right? They take up like 300, 400 gigs when they should take like 10. So I have a couple of games like that installed, and that just takes everything up, and then you're left with nothing. So I only really keep games installed if I'm playing it regularly. Are you back?
There we go. Yeah, did you keep recording?
I have been. I didn't stop it, yeah.
No, good. All right, this is going to be a treat for Ollie and Brother Chris to listen to. Continue. I'll make it work. We've made it this far. We're going to freaking keep it. Continue.
So, yeah, in terms of Suicide Squad, I haven't been playing it because...
Suicide Squad?
Not Suicide Squad. That was just what I read on my notes. Cyberpunk. I haven't been playing it because I can't justify the hard drive space like I mentioned. And also, I don't think they've changed enough to justify playing it. So I'll wait and see. But I have been playing Far Cry 5, or at least I was, and I stopped.
Right. I forgot about that.
So I stopped. Someone told me when I was going into it that I was going to have a problem because he knows what I like and don't like in games. He said I was going to have a problem with the way that they just in the middle of the game, a bunch of guys come after you. You get hit once and you're downed and they capture you. And then they have to do this like story thing where they like torture you and then they're like, you can't win, blah, blah, blah. And then you
suck.
Yeah. Then you manage to escape. And it's just like they start you with no weapons and you have to escape and they just rush you down with a bunch of guys with guns and you're going to die. Regardless of the difficulty, you're going to die. And it's annoying. And I was in the middle of something and then they just captured me out of nowhere. And they're using this like sleeping gas bullets or something. It's stupid. So that aggravated me and I just uninstalled it. I was like, I'm not having fun. This game's making me
Whoa.
angry, so I uninstalled it.
Okay. Because of that?
Yeah, it kept happening. It was like,
Wow.
and
But did
also
you say that was part of the story?
right, and I didn't care about the story. It was like it's like these
Oh.
fanatics and these like religious fanatics, and like they think they're better than like what?
They think they're better.
Why don't they just send the National Guard in and eradicate them? Like
That's not the point.
that is the
The
point.
National Guard's not the point.
My immersion was broken like in the first 10
Oh.
minutes, and then that's
Oh.
it for me. I can't keep playing. The gunplay felt good. Being the vehicle stuff felt good, but it was just getting like the combat starts and all of a sudden everybody immediately aims at you and all shoots you and you die like in seconds. I was like, what's going on here?
I'm trying to remember that sleeping gas thing specifically because I've beaten 5. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
I
like
had fun.
maybe I don't know. Maybe I went to the wrong area first, but all I know is I'm just getting massacred. Like it's not even close, and I'm not.
Are you playing it on hard?
I'm on normal.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and I just die. Like I'm hiding behind cover, and there's bullets flying at me from all 360 degrees. Like there's not even enemies there. Like I don't. It just seemed like the combat was too frustrating for me, and
Interesting.
so I stopped. I stopped playing. It was also massive, 100 gigs on my hard drive, so there was that.
Goodbye, Far Cry.
Yeah, I've just so and I haven't been playing World of Warcraft recently, so I stopped that as well.
Right, on a little hiatus.
Mainly, I've been playing a game, and I told you about this last one. I think we're playing Divinity with some friends.
Yep.
So I'm still doing that. But yeah, so I don't really have a game that I'm playing right now, which is interesting. Usually, I have something that I'm grinding. I'm just waiting for Mass Effect. 2 months.
Yeah, patiently waiting.
But also a new game. I don't know anything about this one, but it's called Outriders. Have you heard of it?
I have heard of it. It's going to be on Game Pass is the only reason why.
Right. So it's going to be on Steam. It's going to be everywhere.
Yep.
It looks high quality. It looks AAA. I don't know who's making it. I think it's post-apocalyptic or something, but that's all I know. Have you seen like any trailers for it or anything?
Yeah. That's what I was bringing up right now because I've heard other people talk about it, and it sounds as though it could either be a relative hit or it could be another one that's just on Game Pass for someone to find in 2065 if we make it that far. Yeah, I don't remember the premise as I breeze through the trailer here. Yep, someone's dying. They're always dying. They have guns. It kind of looks Destiny-ish. There's a female. They're in the woods. They have kind of like magic going on. And that's Outriders.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be good or bad. Hopefully it is. I also heard that they released like the final bit of DLC for Outer Worlds or something.
Yes.
And
yes.
So I wanted to go back to that because I beat the game, but that was before any of the DLC were released. And my one complaint was it felt kind of short and it was just over.
Right.
Like I just looked up and it was done. So I wonder if with the DLC and some of the changes, I wonder if it's a bit better. But
yeah, unfortunately, and this is not a shock, I started it and I got a few hours in. I never finished it. I was my goal, and maybe I think I did mention this several months ago before we went on our 3-month break. I started Outer Worlds in anticipation for Cyberpunk. Not that they're connected, but only because they're role-playing ish games. And like I said, I got a few hours in, like the premise, like the vibe, but I didn't make it happen.
Yeah,
sorry to disappoint you.
I'm not actually that disappointed. The game was just kind of meh, not amazing, but not horrible. Just kind of in the middle. And people have been playing it again, and I've been watching some videos of people play it again, and I might try it again, but we'll see. That means re-downloading the Epic Games launcher, so.
Yeah, that's dedication. Well, and talking about games that I have finished, a mighty segue. And I think I passively mentioned these to you when it was happening. But so we had Child in December 29th. And so for the next several weeks, in those late hours in the evening and morning, I had a lot of time. With myself and Child. So I got a PlayStation from a friend. I inherited it, very kind. And I finally got to play Ghost of Tsushima. I think we talked about that when it happened. Beat that because I just streamlined all the main quests. I said, I don't have time for these other peasants. I'm doing the main story so I can, feel good. And I beat it. It's really good. Really pretty game. There's talks about a sequel at some point. And also, supposedly Sony is making a Ghost of Tsushima movie. I'm not sure if you heard anything about that.
I haven't. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So I don't think you've played it yet, have you? You haven't played Ghost of Tsushima.
I haven't, but I want to. It looks good.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely worth a play. And I also beat Horizon Zero Dawn.
I did remember you saying that. Yeah.
Very good. Had a great time. Good characters, good story. That sequel is confirmed, and I think it's coming out this year. There's DLC for the first one. I haven't gotten it yet, but I was able to get the game for like $10 or something like that. So that was really cool. So I have those going for me as far as completing things.
Yeah, I still need to finish God of War because I know the sequel's coming out.
Oh yeah.
I just haven't booted my PS4 up in a long time. I have that, and I also started a new playthrough of Bloodborne. I didn't finish that, and because in anticipation, I should say, of Elden Ring, whenever that's finally going to be released.
Didn't they put out gameplay or something like that recently of it?
There was
Did we talk about that?
There was like leaked stuff for it, and it looks pretty.
Did you see it?
It looks pretty unfinished. I don't think they were intending anyone to see it yet, but it's from software. The game will be good regardless of what happens. Every game they ever release is good. So
yes.
We're starting to have less and less developing studios that are like that, which is kind of sad. You know, there's a lot less studios where you're like, oh man, it's Pandemic, man. Every game they ever release is super fun. I don't know if you remember Pandemic.
I do. Mercenaries.
And the Battlefront games, the first two.
And Mercenaries.
Yeah, that was a fun game too. I played Mercenaries 2, I think, is the one I remember.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, fun games. So, but like we have a lot less studios like that. But I'm still excited for the future. Mass Effect Remaster and this is something that interests you even less than Mass Effect, and that's World of Warcraft Burning Crusade. The first ever expansion for the game is being re-released for Classic, and that's also in May. So they're trying to, actually, I think that's probably, it says like rumored May, but we'll see. But that's they're trying to make me stressed. 2 games I want to play at the same time. Why are you doing this to get you? Exactly.
Oh.
Like specifically Josh from Illinois, man.
Yes. I said we got him in our sights. We're gonna make him sweat. We're gonna make him feel bad things.
Exactly. So, last question for you that I have anyway.
I'm ready.
Have you heard of the Jackbox Party Pack games?
What?
So I'm gonna say that's a no. They're basically virtual board games. They're all like just party fun. Supposed to be about getting a laugh out of each other. And
say it again. Jack what?
Jackbox, the Jackbox Party Pack, and there's like 7 of those, and each of them has anywhere from like 3 to 5 games in it.
Okay.
Only one person has to own the game, and then everybody else plays by watching their screen. So you either stream it or you do it in like a house or whatever, and everyone else is either playing on their computers or their phones.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and they're like quiz games or just like designing T-shirts, but they're always like you'll come up with T-shirt drawings and mottos, and they'll be shuffled up to all the players, and then everyone votes on them, and it's usually comedic stuff. It's kind of like playing Cards Against Humanity, but just a bunch of games in that same vein. Maybe not as crude as Cards Against Humanity, but
sure. I'm looking at some of the boxes now. Drawful, Word Spud, Lie Swatter, Fibbage. You don't know Jack. Have these been around for a while then, or is this a newer
They've been making them for several years now. The only one I've played so far is 3, just because there was a group of friends and they just said, this is one we like. And there's a game in there called Quiplash, which is really fun.
Quiplash? Yeah,
so it's like playing a bunch of board games, but digitally. And I think it would be fun. We could probably play it with the parents. And
oh my gosh.
I think it would be fun to play some of these games with them. Yeah,
you're just... Go ahead.
So anyway, I don't know. Look at them, see if you like it.
Yeah.
Show them to the wife, and
we're gonna make some memories, and everyone's gonna know about it, and then we're gonna talk about the memories that may or may not be worth talking about, but they'll mean something to us.
Just like Greater Mythos, because
just like Greater Mythos,
it's our namesake.
I'm all on board. I have one more thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. I'm good.
Yep. And this is just more penny for your thoughts as we bring this burning plane down for a landing. Not sure if you've heard, as we've discussed. Big yawn. Hang on. Okay, I guess that was more of a deep breath than a yawn, but anyway, it has been confirmed that Black Widow and also now Cruella, if you give two darns, will be on Disney Plus day of release as well as cinemas for that extra $30. So it's more Black Widow than Cruella for us, I suppose, but that has been confirmed. So that's been a hot button topic in the past as far as, are theaters dying? Are they not? Do I want to stay home and watch it in the comfort of my own home? Do I want to go to the movie theater? Am I going to see Godzilla in the movie theater? Yes, but will I pay $30 to stay at home and watch Black Widow? More than likely. That's just what I have to say.
Yeah. Oh man. So speaking of Godzilla and also that movie, I finally watched Kong Skull Island, and I had seen the first Godzilla, like the first reboot Godzilla of this
2014
of this franchise, I guess. I liked both of those. I started watching the new Godzilla, and then it was just like, okay, so this woman's now an eco-terrorist, and her points are like, we're destroying the world. We need to release the monsters to save it. Like, that is the dumbest plot I've ever heard. And I know that it's Godzilla, and we're not watching it for the plot, but at the same time, the last one wasn't about that. It was just, Godzilla's here.
These are monsters.
Is he friend or foe? We don't know. He's scary. And there is some cool monster fights in this, and so I need to go back and force myself to finish it. But man, I was like, if these people keep talking, I'm just going to fast forward all the scenes where there's people in it, just to the monster fights. I've never seen a movie like it's just so comically bad plot, man. I just okay, so your whole reason for you're going to release monsters that are trying to commit genocide on the human race because you think we're destroying our planet. Like, they are literally destroying the planet by walking around. They're so big. Anyway, so that's all I have to say.
Sounds like you have problems against kaiju.
I have problems against this woman, this endangering her daughter's life to release kaiju. Like,
so Black Widow.
Speaking of Black Widow, I'm excited to see that movie. I've wanted to see it for a long time.
Very good.
There should have been a Black Widow movie in Phase 1, honestly.
Wow. No sense in looking back. Do you plan on going to the theater? Are you going to shell out that 30? We should just freaking get together is what we need to do. Make that $30 count. We
can do that. I also want to go to see theaters for one of those movies, for sure. I haven't been to the theater since this whole thing started, and I miss it.
Yep. Well, that was my silly rationalizing, is that Godzilla monster movie, that makes more sense to go out to a larger setting, but also I'm going to watch it again at home because it will be on HBO Max day of. But yeah, we're going to go with my brother and I are going to go, and the wives might come and all that good stuff. Yeah, they might come.
But no, we should do Black Widow for sure. That would be fun.
We'll do Black Widow. And we'll party like it's 2020 when it was supposed to come out.
We'll party like COVID didn't exist.
Hello. What do you think? Anything else? Anything else on your mind?
Well, aside from Resident Evil 8 is still to come out.
Yes.
And I will still not be playing it, but I will watch someone play it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably the same here, even though I want to play it, but who am I fooling? I'm only fooling myself, I guess.
It's not even that it's like a scary-ish game. It's mostly jump scares, but the fact that the gun is useless and they give it to you anyways, like, what's the point? Just make this a movie already.
It's not so much that it's useless so much as it is just a prop, you know? It's just kind of
your character's kind of a prop. In a way.
You're a prop.
In a way, like, the whole gameplay, it's like everything you're doing is just moving you from one cinematic to the next, which are really, the cinematics are awesome. They're creepy. The characters are awesome. Everyone loves giant vampire lady. But
everyone.
Anyway, that's my last thoughts. I am in the Mass Effect waiting room in everything I do in life. So
I'm in the Mass Effect waiting room. Well, from the Mass Effect waiting room to everyone else, this is the Greater Mythos podcast. We like doing this. I like doing this. I won't speak for you, I guess.
I like doing it.
I like these times. We're still on Spotify. We're on iTunes.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. You can subscribe on those things. We're recording on Saturdays now, hopefully, and they'll be out day of. You can leave a nice word, a comment, or a rate if you want. You don't have to. You could just passively listen to this 20, 30 minutes and then just go about your day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine too. Is that fine with you?
It's fine with me.
I think we should sign off.